I just hope that I can take care of it by myself because I really love to, and it just brings me so much joy. So I hope that I can stay here forever and keep it up with either by myself or with some family help or with hired help. That's how I plan to do it. I don't like Hello, welcome back to Single Mom on a Farm. This is question and answer video number 27. As always, thank you so much for your questions. I really have enjoyed doing these Q&A videos. They've been a lot of fun for me. Okay, first question. Has Nathan made the decision to not see you or the children, and would he be allowed to see them? Yes, he's allowed to see any visitors, and no, he hasn't made the decision to not see us. As far as I understand it, he just makes decisions on a case-by-case basis. When someone comes to visit him, he decides whether or not to see them or not. That's how I understand it. He has made the decision to not use any technology, so he won't use a phone to contact us or internet or a FaceTime or anything like that. I guess he's just a little bit paranoid about technology, or I think he doesn't like agreements for technology, so he won't even look at someone's pictures on their phone. If they wanted to show him pictures of us, he won't even look at them. He believes that the person who owns the phone hasn't read the Apple agreement or their internet agreement, their CenturyLink, Spectrum, whatever. And so he doesn't use any technology, phones or computers. I think it's more of agreements. He doesn't believe people are reading them and understanding them. And if he says if you did read your agreement, then you would not be obeying it and you wouldn't agree to it because they're such ridiculous agreements. So I don't know about that, but I wish he would just see the greater good of contacting his family. It would be really great to be able to talk to him, to see a picture of him. He won't anybody take a picture of him so that we can see what he looks like. And as I said, he won't even look at pictures of us on someone else's phone. So that's pretty hard. So we don't have any communication with him. And I don't believe it's because he doesn't want to hear from us. It's just that he is paranoid about technology. As far as visiting him, I've never tried to visit him. I haven't gone back to Utah since we moved here 5 years ago. But what I've been told, and your imagination is as good as mine because I haven't been there, but I'm told that when visitors get there, they are taken to a family visiting room, and then a staff member will go back and get Nathan. And so sometimes Nathan just says, no, I don't want to visit anybody, and just stays in his room. Sometimes he will come down the hall and then go back to his room and come back down the hall and go back and never go through some glass doors and go see whoever's visiting. And sometimes he does come through the doors and does visit with somebody. So that's just what I've been told about visitors. So sometimes you can visit him and sometimes he just doesn't want to. And I don't know what that's about. That's just his mood for the day. Or if he's paranoid that something bad is going to happen if he does visit somebody. Spencer and his sweet wife, Naomi, are the main ones that tried to visit him from what I've been told. He says he tries to go once a month. And sometimes Nathan will come out and visit and sometimes he won't. I know last year on his birthday, so today's actually his birthday, so maybe the kids will try to go visit him today. I know last year on his birthday, then there were 8 of my kids out there in Utah because there were the 4 that lived there, plus Naomi, which would be 5, but then my other 4 at home went, and they're all there on his birthday and his parents and some siblings, and they tried to visit him with balloons and cards, and he just would not come out. So sometimes he goes 3-6 months without wanting to visit anybody. So I believe deep in his heart, he does really want to see us. He's always loved us and the children. It's just really whatever's going on in his poor little brain is just not letting him function as a normal human being. It's really sad. Next question. Do you ever feel like you want to talk to him just to see how he is doing? I know you are soft-hearted and might want to know. Yes, I totally want to talk to him. That's what the frustrating thing is like, I wish we could just call him and talk to him and be a part of his life a little bit. We're really wanting to know what he looks like and what he does all day. It's kind of mind-boggling, especially when he was homeless and nobody knew where he was and could find him. Then it was really hard to know like how he's doing. Like nobody knew. And it just kind of messes with your brain a little bit. Like all of our other friends, even back from our Texas years, we still keep in touch, or you can look them up on Facebook. You can ask through a friend of a friend, how are they doing? Whenever I think about somebody, I usually have a way to connect to them and see how they're doing, and I get an update. But with Nathan, it's really hard because I don't get an update, especially when he was homeless. So now that he's been in the hospital for a couple of years, then I still want to know what he's doing every day. And my kids ask also, especially Caitlin. She's just like, what does he do all day long? Does he play the piano? And do they have like a bingo? Is it like the nursing home? Because that's the only place we've been that seems like a mental hospital. They've got those crafts and they've got games and people come in to sing and they have outdoor time. So I don't know if the hospital is like that where Nathan is or not. I just don't know what it's like at all. So I would love to talk to him. I would love to see how he's doing. I would love to try to help him through it because during our marriage, I was the one that was able to get him to go to work and to use the internet and function in society, to do his schoolwork and things that he had problems with. I could talk him out of it and just say, I know this is a very imperfect world, imperfect society. People write stupid agreements, but if you want to have a credit card or a bank account and live here, you just got to sign it. You just got to do it and do your best to be honest, but don't take it too seriously. I was able to talk him through things. And so I feel really bad that I don't have any communication with him and that he's struggling all alone. So yes, I would just love to see how he's doing, see if I could cheer him up like I used to be able to. So that is really difficult. And especially that year that he was homeless was really hard for me because y'all know my bedroom is like 40 to 50 degrees in the wintertime, which I don't mind at all. I have a super comfortable bed and wonderful blankets. I've got my really thick blanket that Kira made me. And so I would just climb into my bed and snuggle under my blankets, and I would just think of him out on the streets. And it was so hard to go to sleep knowing that I am so warm and cozy and comfortable, and he's sleeping outside on a cold, dirty street with no blankets and no pillow and just being miserable out there. It's a little bit better now that he's in a hospital and he's got a roof over his head and he's being taken care of, but I still feel so bad that he's just living with that mind of his. And I don't know, I just want to know what he's doing all day and what makes him happy and what brings him joy. I don't know, it is really hard. So thank you for asking. You have lived and are living a very full life with your kids. You spend such quality time with them. What do you envision life will look like in 15 years or so when all of your kids are adults? Ooh, let's see. I haven't thought about it too much. I have thought about what life is going to look like when Tilly is the last kid at home, and I really hope we can travel together. I think that would be fun. I can picture us going to France and England and Prince Edward Island. And for sure, I want to travel and see my grandbabies be born. I really want to do that. I love babies being born. And so I hope to be there when all my daughters deliver their babies. I can picture me helping out with that. I can picture Tilly helping with the toddlers and changing diapers. We can help homeschool or take the kids places, wash dishes, make meals, clean. So I'm really excited for that. I've also wondered what it's going to be like when Tilly and Andy are still at home. And I'm hoping that kids will bring my grandkids here, and so that they will play with their nieces and nephews and give them piggyback rides and take them on the zip line, play with them in the sandbox, make cookies with them. So I do look forward to that time. But let's see, 15 years, then I would be like 60 and Tilly would be about 23. And so what would life look like then? I guess I picture myself still being really busy, doing yard work and working on my business. I hope to still do 1 or 2 videos a week and write blog posts. I hope to write books and be publishing them, still selling my homeschool curriculum, maybe doing some coaching. I have toyed with the idea of doing a nature camp, and I think I might, if my kids live nearby and I'm already babysitting my grandkids, then I might as well do like the nature camp. It's always been a dream of mine, but I'm also willing to give it up just because it's hard to commit to 3 or 4 days a week, 9 months out of the year of being home. And I really want the flexibility to go travel and see my grandkids. So I would choose that first. And that's why I want the digital products, so that I have the funds to still be traveling. But if not, then I could do a nature camp. I can kind of see myself doing that, or the nature schools, like a preschool, because I love doing that. What else do I envision my life? And this says, what would you like your day-to-day to look like? Oh, that'd be fun. Let's see. I don't know if I picture my 60s, but I guess what I just said about working in the yard and then working on my business mostly would be my day-to-day, and then hopefully doing some service or things with friends. I do fantasize about my 70s because that's where my mom is right now, and she has the house to herself all day, every day, which I kind of crave a lot of times, especially the years that I don't have a driver. Like when my 17-year-old goes off to college and my next is only 15, then I have like a very slim chance of ever having the house to myself for months on end. And I just crave like having a day or two by myself. And so I'm thinking it's okay when I'm in my 70s, I'll probably have lots and lots of days by myself, like my mom does. But she also stays pretty busy. She serves at a hospice thrift store once a week, and then she will go walking with her friends afterward and do her grocery shopping. She serves her friends a lot. She's lived there for 50 years, and so a lot of them are dying or are widowed, and so she does go serve them and help them, takes them to doctor's appointments. She has a book club that she's active in, and then she has a lot of other service opportunities. And then she travels to see us, so she visits all 6 kids at least once a year. So she's usually planning a trip or taking a trip or doing her service at her house. So I frequently picture my life looking a lot like my mom's, and I'm really excited for that, just for the freedom of being able to do whatever I want and eat when I want and just work outside and just having a lot of quiet time. On the other hand, I picture my kids settling around me, and I think out of 10 kids, at least 1 or 2 will settle here, which is what I really hope. Deep in my heart, I hope they settle here. I picture myself going to their band concerts and dance recitals and baseball games, the theater productions. I can't wait to see them all perform and be really active grandma in their lives. I picture having Sunday dinners here. I would love to just make a big Sunday dinner and have the whole family gather around anybody who lives here. And for that reason, I am hoping to be able to remodel our house to have a great big living room with a fireplace in it. I picture a bigger kitchen and a bigger eating area so that we can all gather around the table, and then picnics outside. So just lots of family here. So I do hope that they settle here. And if they live close by, I can be babysitting them. So I think that answers your question about what my day-to-day would look like in my 60s and my 70s. I'm looking forward to it, but I guess we'll just see. We'll see what happens. I'll take whatever happens. Do you talk a lot to adults on the phone? I imagine it'd be so lonely needing that adult time. Glad Lori came. Yes, I'm so glad Lori came too. Isn't she the best? We just get along so well. We read each other's minds and we know what we're doing and thinking all the time. I just love talking to her. We can talk for hours. So, do I talk a lot to adults on the phone? No, not since I started working. I haven't. But I used to. I used to love to talk to adults, especially in medical school and residency. I had a good group of medical wives, and that was fun. We were just really there for each other because our husbands were so busy all the time. So we would talk on the phone back when we had a phone plugged into the wall, and I could not wait to get a cordless phone. That was just like the highest technology, cool thing. But I love talking on the phone to my friends, and it really kept me going when we have a lot of little kids. Then on our Utah years, I did talk on the phone some, but I think I did more in person. In my neighborhood, I just loved to go outside and just talk to whoever was out there. I loved having play dates at the park and going for walks with my friends. I did a lot of talking with my friends. So I think that is just so valuable. I think women really need to talk to other adults. Since I started working after we moved here, I really cut that part out. And so now that I'm saying this out loud, it's really good for me to realize why. I think I just cut it out because I figured no playtime and no personal playtime. So I can only be away from my kids maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. So if I talk on the phone for 1 hour, then that's like an hour of my work time. So I guess I've just told God that I'm going to not have any personal playtime and take out friends and anything by myself without the kids. I like rarely go to an appointment or anything without them. And I will just work until I can provide for my family all by myself. And then when I can, then I can start adding in friends. And so maybe this is totally wrong because when I am with my friends or talking on the phone, I feel so much better. I mean, I come downstairs like a better mom, and I can probably work better that day and take care of my family a lot better that day. But something in my brain is saying you can't afford to be away from your kids for half an hour or an hour on the phone, or if my friends invite me out to eat or something. For one thing, I just don't want to spend money. And another thing, if I'm gone for 2 or 3 hours, then when I come home, I know I can't work for 2 or 3 hours. Like that was my work time. And it's like, I can't afford that. I need to work at least 2 or 3 hours every day. Sometimes I'm able to get in like 5 or 6 hours, especially on Saturdays, and the kids are just great. But there's other days I don't get to work at all. I mean, when we are so busy going places. And so I had felt like I've had to cut out talking to friends. And that is sad because I think it is really valuable. Like I said, when I do talk to friends, I feel great. So I do sometimes keep in contact with my friends from other states, and they just really build me up and really help me. And mostly I talk to my college kids and my mom and my sisters. And like you said, it can be so lonely needing that adult time. And that is why I love my college kids coming home. I mean, I just love it. I love them being here, and I can ask them anything at any time. Like, what do you think about this cover for my video? And what do you think about this and this? And they can help plan meals. And they're just so fun to talk to. I love to hear what they're reading, what they're learning about, what their hobbies are, and what's going on in the world. I hear more about news. I'm just more a well-rounded person when they're here, and I love it. I've been so grateful the times Madeline has come home. And I say her because she has lived at home more than the rest of the kids since she's been 17. And the time that she's been home has just been fantastic. For one thing, she can take the kids places, and so that I can stay home and work. And the other thing is that she's just here to talk to all the time. And so I just love it. So I think that answers your question. It is very lonely. You're right. We need other adults. And it can be pretty hard when you're just talking to little kids all the time. For anybody who is single or their husbands travel a lot or are doctors, then it can be very lonely. So I do encourage you to get that adult time. Talk to your mom on the phone and sisters and friends. And we need to go back to that because now we mostly text. I pretty much text all my local friends, and I don't really get together with them because I need to work, like I said. So I love these questions because it makes me think out loud on the spot and realize maybe I'm kind of wrong about things. Okay, next question. How are you going to keep up this place when your kids grow up and go to college? Aw, another sad question of my kids all going off to college. But it is scary, isn't it, to think of me taking care of 36 acres all by myself. It does sound kind of over my head. Again, I probably look to my mom. She only has 4 acres, but it's still the same concept. There are a lot of woods and stuff that I don't have to take care of. And she does such a great job keeping up her yard and property. And she's going to be 75 this year. So I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. She still heats with wood, and she just still keeps everything awesome. So I'm really hoping that I'll be in good shape also into my 70s. The couple lived here before me until they're 80, and that was kind of their time where they were thinking, or at least their kids were thinking, that maybe they should move off of the farm and into a city. They actually regret it, and they wish they still lived here. So I don't want to move off too soon. I really hope that I can just die here because I love it so much. But anyway, there are so many options. Hopefully I can just do it by myself and keep it up. Like last June when all the kids went to Florida for a week, I thought, okay, this is where I can see if I can keep this up by myself. And I could pretty easily. I worked an hour or two in the garden in the morning, just picking the bugs off of things and weeding and picking food to eat. And then I had the rest of the day to work on my business, vacuum, do the laundry and stuff. And then I worked for about 2 hours on Blueberry Hill, picking blueberries, and I'd find just other little projects and things that needed to be trimmed. So I still had the rest of the day. And, one day I might have taken several more hours just to mow and trim and do a few extra things like that. So even if I didn't have any kids here, I think I could just do it all in 8 or 10 hours a week. Of course, summer is a lot more than the winter. There isn't a lot to do in the wintertime, so I think it'll be fine. Then my other options are to hire help. If I don't want to take 10 to 20 hours a week or whatever it's going to be in the summer to be picking the blueberries and keeping up a garden and mowing, I can hire someone to mow for me. Or maybe my grandkids will live close by and one of them will want to come mow for me. I can neglect the blueberries and just forget about them because they are a lot of work, but they're also only 8 weeks in the summer. So I don't know. I love them. They bring me so much joy. So I probably won't neglect them. But there are things I can neglect if I really don't want to. If I really don't like pruning all the fruit trees, then I can just let them die. And I can still enjoy living in this beautiful piece of property. I don't have to keep everything up. I don't have to do a garden in the summer if I don't want to. I don't have to do chickens. But I want to do as much as I can for as long as I can because it brings me joy. It makes me feel young still. I love climbing ladders and pruning things and helping God create more things, make things grow and flourish and be beautiful. And it makes me so happy to look at it. So I do hope that I can keep it up by myself. I'm not too worried, really. There's a ton of mowing, so I think that's the thing that scares me most. But then I think, I will love mowing. My mom still mows. I could just listen to a podcast and mow. If I don't have kids to take care of all the time, I should have plenty of time to be mowing. But we'll just see when that happens, huh? Can you give an update on Thomas? Sure, I think he's doing pretty well. I think it's just here and there. I really love that he has so many opportunities to help people individually, because so many people are lonely these days and we are just all looking for who can help us. So like the other day, he took a dog that someone is shut in. He was able to take the dog and get it groomed, the groomers, for like an hour and a half and bring it back. So he's able to help these people with things like that. What I wish he had was more peer interaction, because he's the only service missionary in our area. He doesn't get to work with them. And I know other areas, especially like Utah, then there are a lot of service missionaries. And so they would all work at the homeless shelter together, or an adult disability area with like handicapped or Down syndrome people. And they all work there together and help them. So he would have so much fun if he could work at these places with other peers his age. That would just be really great. And they don't have that. So I do feel really bad about that. And I don't have a solution for that. But otherwise, I think he is doing pretty good. I haven't asked him lately his plans. I know he's just planning to do service mission for a while. He doesn't really want to go back to Colorado, and he's happy with this, and it's working out really well for our family. He's just been blessing us so much, and I'm not sure how long he'll do it for, or if he'll want to go off to college instead, mostly for that social aspect. And I don't know how healthy it is, I guess, for him to be here with all of us and just helping a lot of elderly people without having a lot of peers. But that's just my thoughts today. I might change my mind tomorrow. So anyway, thank you for asking about him. Okay, just 2 more questions. One question for the Easter season. How does your family celebrate Easter and Holy Week? Do you incorporate any of the celebrations into homeschool? These are the last 2. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm terrible at this. This is a bad question to ask me. No, I wish I could say that I did incorporate Easter into homeschooling. Wow, this is terrible of me. Okay, what have we done for Easter? We haven't done anything lately. Y'all, I don't know if I'm getting old or like tired of doing these kinds of things and traditions, because I've been doing them for 25 years. Like if my energy's just going way down, because I used to just be into every little tradition. We did May Day stuff, St. Patrick's Day stuff, and Valentine's stuff. And I planned ahead, and I was just so excited. I think being a stay-at-home mom, and most of the time like having one car or just not a lot of outings, then it was like so much fun for me to put in my creative energy into making traditions and ordinary days really fun, like doll birthday parties and stuff. And my kids have carried those things on. But now I don't feel like I'm a good mom anymore. I'm like, I've done that and I don't feel like doing it again. So sometimes the kids will be like, hey, are we having our heart-shaped pancakes tonight for Valentine's Day? And I was just like, oh no. Like, did you have to think about that? I was just hoping that we could just have grilled cheese sandwiches and like let Valentine's Day just fly under the table. So I feel really bad because these younger kids aren't even going to remember our traditions if I don't keep them up. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting tired of it or if I'm just too busy with work and more going on in my life now than when I only had little kids and I was home a lot. I don't know what it is, but we haven't done very good with Easter lately for sure. When they were little, we had those eggs that have, I think they're resurrection eggs that have little pieces of things inside of them. So I think there was like a cloven one, and that was for the spices that they anointed Jesus' body with. I know there was like a piece of silver for the 30 pieces of silver Judas betrayed Jesus for. Those were pretty fun, and we would just read the scriptures, open it up, and show each kid would like show the object in it, and then read the scripture that went along with it. We just did that for a little activity. Oh, we do have these. This is called a gospel art kit that has pictures of the gospel, and so it's all organized. It came this way. So like all of the 200, they're all numbered. So all the 200 pictures are from the New Testament. So it starts with Jesus' birth, obviously. So there are some, I haven't looked at these in a long time, but I'm sure there are some that go along with the Holy Week. So like that would be the Last Supper, right? And on the back, it has the whole story, if you want to read the whole story, and then it has a summary. So if your kids are just like 2 or 3 years old, you could just read the summary. Sometimes the kids love to hold up the pictures and tell it themselves, or you whisper to them so that they can tell the rest of the family what's going on. Here's Jesus washing the disciples' feet and Gethsemane. So anyway, this is what we've also done for many years, is hold up the pictures and talk about them, talk about Holy Week. We've done like the resurrection rolls. I think you put like a marshmallow in a crescent roll and you bake it, and then you open it up, like the marshmallows disappeared. but none of my kids like it. And we're not like a processed food family, so we haven't done those in years. I don't think Tilly's ever had them. What else have we done? Not a lot. We don't have a ton of great traditions. I know I'm trying to remember what we used to do, but I know Kylie is a lot better at it. So when she was like 10, 11, 12, she would just love to do these kinds of activities with the kids, and she would find new ideas in like a magazine or something, or a library book. She'd get library books on Easter crafts or Easter meals, and she would make them, and I would join in, but the brainchild was from her. So she's really good at that. It's Monday of Holy Week, so I guess I should do something this week. Thank you for reminding me. I really need to do something. We did listen to a podcast yesterday on the Holy Week. It was Don't Miss This, which is a fun podcast that talks about things in the scripture that you don't want to miss. They pull out little tidbits here and there that you've never thought about before and didn't realize, at least for me. I'm not great with the scriptures, like I've told you before. I apply them to my life, but I don't know the stories as well as I should. So we listened to that yesterday, and that talked about the Holy Week and everything that happened to Jesus each day, and they might have had some ideas in that. And we did go to an Easter concert last night. My kids sang in it, all 6 of them, and there was a beautiful orchestra with it, and they just sang all these Easter songs. So I was thinking on the way home, can I count this as an Easter? It's like, it's part of their Easter, because I just haven't had energy to think of new things or time, but that's just my excuse. That if I wanted to, I'm sure I'd find the time. So I haven't been good at that. So probably, if you're asking this question, you're doing a better job than I am. How does my family celebrate Easter and Holy Week? You're probably doing a way better job of coming up with things for your kids. It's so fun when they're little and they're so teachable. It gets harder when they're older and you're like, guys, let's come and do this. If they're not interested, they're not interested. I haven't even wanted to dye eggs some of the years, because it's like, I've been doing that for 20 years. Do we have to do them again? Like, this is the same thing or whatever. But I need to find better ways to incorporate Easter. So thank you for reminding me. That is all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for sending them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support and your wonderful comments. They really lift me up. Thank you for your prayers too. Have a great day. Bye-bye.